Hello, welcome, or welcome back even, because I've been gone for a while, but I've still had a couple of it to Swim Pop's Plan B. Okay, this is I've been off. I had exams, Sorry about my head. I've got this hat on because I have conditioner in my hair. I have a soy, but anyway, we're here for UFC 322. Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Okay, MSG, biggest card of the year, biggest maybe since 300. So we'll get straight into it. Borshev versus Mateusz Camillo, okay? Slava clause, Now, Mateusz Camillo, if you don't know, do you remember a guy called Dorshev, right? Let's paint the picture. UFC 308, yeah? Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria, okay? The press conference. This was a kind of a viral clip for like a couple weeks, up to a month, of this guy called Dorshev coming up to the podium and going, Dana, just please give me shot at UFC. It is my dream. Something like that he said, right? Then he goes, alright kid, come up. Okay, and they like set him up for something. They, I don't know, they send him back to the back alley to, I don't know, deal with him, have a meeting, whatever. Anyway, Dana watches this fight between Dorshev and, as we see here, Mateusz Camillo, right? When I tell you Mateusz Camillo beat up Dorshev embarrassingly in front of Dana White, Dana was like, this is just, it's just not UFC, he's just not UFC material. So they signed Mateusz Camillo, and you can't even blame him. Mateusz Camillo, he's only lost, he's had one UFC fight against Gabe Green, which he lost by submission. But you can't even blame him, because Gabe Green isn't even that bad. He's not great. But his only losses in the UFC against Ian Gary, D-Rod, and Ryan Battle. I mean, Ryan Battle obviously cut from the UFC now, but it wasn't bad at all. He beat Ruzaboev. He was supposed to fight. I can't remember. Who was he supposed to fight? He was supposed to fight, missed weight, got cut from the UFC. It's whatever. But he was still great. And he went on Bare Knuckle FC. I think he's won 2 fights so far. Maybe just one. I don't know. I watched the first one he won. Ian Gary, obviously, yeah, pains me to say that he's had success. So, you can't even blame Gabe Green for that. I mean, you can't blame Mateusz Camillo for losing to a more experienced guy on his UFC debut. And Mateusz Camillo actually landed a takedown, which I think is going to be the biggest thing in this fight against Borshev. Borshev's, his stand-up is great. Even close to elite, I'd say. He's got really good stand-up. But it's just the grappling. I think Mateusz Camillo is going to be able to take him down. This could even be a 30-27. I don't see a finish anywhere. And one more thing, I think we've got to watch out for that Brazilian low kick. You know, that classic Jose Aldo, Pereira, even Charles Oliveira on some occasions. That Brazilian low kick is nasty, Edson Barboza. I think Mateusz, he's got a nice low kick. Okay, we might see that. Okay, but yeah. Anyway, I don't really know what to say about Borshev. He's kind of zesty to me. You know Alexei from Stranger Things, that Russian guy who like drink the slushies all the time. That's what Borshev reminds me of. He's just a bit zesty. I kind of like him, but he is quite zesty, really, isn't he? But yeah, I think Mateusz Camillo is gonna win this 30-27. Next fight, Baisango Susakayev versus Eric Mkoniko. You don't even need me to say anything about this one. You just gotta look at the odds. Look at that, bro. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just Baisango Susakayev is just way better. I think the Eric Nolan fight, he got hurt in the first, at the end of the first, but he just got too cocky, UFC debut, he wants to show off in front of Dana. Just went on the Contender Series before that as well, like a week ago or something stupid like that. He got a bit cocky, he got a bit ballsy, he got a bit overconfident, but I don't think it's going to be too much trouble at all. I honestly see this as like a bunch of left feints. Baisango Susakayev, he likes to switch stances a little bit. I see this as a bunch of left feints and then just a massive, like not even like a follow through right hand, more like a pop right hand. You know what I mean? Like kind of like an overhand. I like a mix between an overhand and a cross, kind of. like he's gonna like throw an overhand, but it's just gonna pop Eric McConaughey, and I see that. I don't know why. You know when you sense these things. I sense that from Baisango Susukayev. I don't know why. From the orthodox stance. Eric McConaughey. He went to split decision with Cody Brundage. I mean, Cody Brundage, really? To be fair though, I do think Cody Brundage is a bit he's a bit, I don't want to say underrated, but like over. I don't know what the specific word is, but I don't think he did that bad against Abdul Malik. You know, before obviously that weird situation with like they went to decision when the fight wasn't even over because of like an injury or something. But I didn't even mind. Was it a head clash? I think I didn't even mind what the work he was doing in round 1 against Abdul Malik. But yeah, Abdul Malik did win that fight, I thought. Oh, and also he lost against Ruzaboev. You can't really blame him. Well, he got finished by Ruzaboev in the first round, so I guess you can blame him. But Ruzaboev is flipping massive. Eric McConaughey, I think it was round 1. It might have been round 2. Eric McConaughey is tough, but I see this first round KO for Baisango Susukayev. You know, showing off against Dana again. Next fight, oh gosh. I really wish Angela Hill would have retired when she fought Souza. You know? I think she's too small. Angela Hill is just way too small. I know she's been robbed in her career, and she is kind of the crafty vet of WMMA, you know? She's the women's crafty vet. She's a crafty female veteran, you know? And when you look at her career, she's fought Andrade, Rose Namajunas, Yan Xiaonan, Dern, Jandaroba, Lucindo's the last loss she had. You can't even blame, like, her career is, like, she's had the craziest fights. She had to fight, like, well, I wouldn't say titans, but in terms of WMMA, the titans of the WMMA division. It's kind of crazy. I mean, she may as well go up a division and 2 divisions and fight wow. Harris. What's her first name? That's just completely slipped my mind. Yeah, but she won against Souza. She should have retired there. I don't know why she's still fighting. Fatima Klein. I think she's on like a 2-fight finish streak. I think she lost to Fiorot. Fiorot's also kind of a crafty vet. So hey, Angela Hill could carry on this Fatima Klein. She's only lost to crafty vets in Fiorot. The next crafty vet she could lose to is Angela Hill. Maybe, we don't know. You really don't know. You really don't know. But Dodakova, Melissa Martinez. They're the ones Fatima Klein beat by finish as well. So yeah, I think this is gonna be Fatima Klein. I think she's going to finish Angela Hill, which I'm really not happy about because I don't want to see Angela Hill laid out on the canvas KO'd. That's going to be so sad to see, but I think it's going to happen. I don't think she's going to get KO'd. I think she's going to get submitted or something by Fatima Klein. But hey, she's crafty. This could be like a 29-28 Angela Hill, but I think it's close to a 29-28 Fatima Klein kind of deal there, you know. Pat Sabatini versus Chep Mariscal, okay? Pat Sabatini's only lost to Lopez and Damon Jackson, but they were both bad losses. I think they were first round finishes. And the thing is about Pat Sabatini, he's happy to just grapple with you. You know, he's happy to just lay on top of you. You know, just he's happy to just play jiu-jitsu with you. You know, if you can control a man's body. You know, so I think he's just happy. He's happy to do jiu-jitsu. But the thing is with Chep Mariscal, he's so stocky. I think it's gonna be harder for Pat Sabatini to really get this into play. And I know Diego Lopez is such a like easy guy to lose to, you know. I don't blame Pat Sabatini for even the first round. I don't even blame him. But Damon Jackson is also not even that bad. Damon Jackson's not that bad, guys, you know. Damon Jackson's like a pretty legitimate guy. He's alright, okay? But I just don't trust the chin of Pat Sabatini. I think Chep Mariscal, I see this like just first round. There's a lot of first rounding going on, isn't there? But I see this like first round TKO for Chep Mariscal. Pat Sabatini also looks a bit like, he just looks like a just I don't know, just like your average like guy. He just looks like guy. He just looks like a guy. That's it. There's nothing to him. He's just like I don't know. He's just your average Joe. That's why does he actually just look like just a random guy you'd see? That's so weird. Okay. Kyle Dorcas versus GM3 now. I like Kyle Dorcas, man. I really like it. And when he fought Michel Pereira, you know, I knew he was gonna win. I don't know what it was. It was just like I had the whole fight week leading up to it. Was that the China card? I think. Maybe I'm wrong in that. I think it was the China card. The whole time, I was thinking, oh, Michel Pereira is just gonna beat the brakes off this bum, you know? Kyle Dorcas went 2-4. Like he went 2-4 in the UFC, got cut from the UFC, and then he came back, right? He went 2-4, and I thought Michel Pereira, he's just gonna trick shot on guys like he always does. It's what he does. It really is. It's what he does, you know? Michel Pereira, he just trick shots you all the time. He's landing backflips into people's guards. This is the Michel Pereira we're talking about. I thought he was gonna beat the brakes out of Kyle Dorcas, but Kyle Dorcas KO'd him in the first round, and I knew instantly. I don't know what it was. It was the walkout of Kyle Dorcas versus Michel Pereira, and I could feel that Dorcas was gonna win. I said it in my head there. I was like, oh, Kyle Dorcas is gonna KO him first round, and it happened. So yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, Kyle Dorcas finished Michel Pereira. He's been locked in, guys. I know that's the casual take, but he's been locked in, guys. I saw him in fight week. He was locked in. He was doing his thing. You know, he's training. He's training hard. He's locked in. So yeah. Also, there was that head clash with Kevin Holland. I don't even know what that was about. That was a weird situation. You know, head clash, no contest. That's Kevin Holland for you, know. But GM3 lost to Oleg Zacic. He's been 0-3 in his last 3. So our crafty Roach is you know, it's looking over. And you know, if it does get to that third round, you know, I'm gonna be shouting GM3 at the top of my lungs. Not at the top of my lungs, because you know, I don't want to disturb the neighbors. They've got a kid next door, so baby child, you know, so beautiful. But yeah, GM3, you don't really want that, you know. You don't want to be in the third round with GM3, guys. You know, he's crafty. He's a crafty guy. But yeah, I've got Kyle Dorcas. First round KO. I think this is going to be a generational card. You don't understand. I think it's going to be another first round finish, you know, for Kyle Dorcas. GM3 is just... It's time to wrap it up, bro. It's time to wrap it up. You know, just have this be the last one. Actually, I don't want him to end... You know, if when GM3... Oh, not when. I don't want to say when. If GM3 loses, just give him, I don't know, who's dead in mid... Who's half dead in middleweight? Give him Anderson Silva. Just tell Anderson Silva to come back. Like, Anderson Silva could actually beat Gerald Meerschaert. Nah, there's no way. Tell Anderson Silva to come back and fight GM3. You know, we gotta give him something for being such a crafty roach. Okay, on to the prelims. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Ethan. Is it Ethan Ewing? Ewing. I don't know. Ethan, let's call him. I hate that name, bro. Who spells Ethan with a Y? Who does that? Anyway, this blockhead is gonna get beaten the crap out of by Malcolm Wellmaker. I'm quite sure. What have we got here? Okay, so Malcolm Wellmaker, he's kind of been on a bit of a bummy win streak. 2-0, 2 first round finishes against who? Cameron Simon. Yeah, Cameron Simon's actually pretty good. But Chris Matinho. Are we serious? Lesbian hair, Chris Matinho? What actually happened with Chris Matinho? It's like he lost to O'Malley. He lost to... I don't even have it. I don't know. He lost to O'Malley, and then he kind of just went. He went. And then he went on like I think he went 5-2 on the regional scene or something. 5-2 on the regional scene, and they bring him back to the UFC on his last legs, and then just gets... just slimed out by Malcolm Wellmaker. It wasn't even close. They're just laying this guy up. And, you know, Malcolm Wellmaker could be already entering crafty vet era. I know he's only 31, but that is kind of old for a prospect. He's a crafty prospect, guys. He really is. He's a crafty prospect. Ethan, what do we have about Ethan? Oh, I don't know. His head is so big. He looks like a Funko Pop. You know those bobble heads that you have, right? And you flick it or you push the head and it goes like that. And it fucking just goes back and forth. That's Ethan Ewing to me. Or whatever the hell his name is. Ewing. Okay? That's where he's gonna get sent. Ewing Hospital. Okay? You know? That's where he's gonna get... his head's just too big. But I did watch some of his fights, actually. He's on an 8-fight win streak. At the start of his career, he lost twice in a row. Okay? So, dare I say this could be a bantamweight JDM, you know? I lost twice at the start of his career, since then been on a win streak. You know, Malcolm Wellmaker could get slimed out, but no, I don't think it's going to happen. I've got Malcolm Wellmaker. Ooh. Does he get another first round finish? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to finish Ethan. You know what we're going to say? We're going to say Ethan is not UFC material. Let's try assume that, okay? I think Malcolm Wellmaker's gonna first round KO him. Let's stick to our guns here, okay? Also short notice, you know. If this was Cody Haddon, or I might have actually picked Cody Haddon, no joke. I might have picked him, but it's not Cody Haddon, so we don't have to talk about that. Erin Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Does Tracy Cortez even care? Does she even care? Because I swear, if she comes into the cage and she's got, like, fake eyelashes on and mascara and, like, God knows what. If she's got nails on, that's the worst one, bro. There's no way. If she's got any of that on, I'm turning the TV off, bro. Erin Blankfield, what have we got? More experience, first of all, than Tracy Cortez. She lost to Fiora. You can't even blame her. Fiora's actually a crafty vet, bro. Fiora is actually a crafty vet. If she would have put more pace on Valentina Shevchenko, she might have been champion right now. And we might have been talking about Zhang Weili versus Fiora. You know? Like, wow. Okay. Anyway. Oh, and that got... win against Erin Blankfield got Fiora a title shot. Can I just say, by the way, that's a complete fever. Fiora versus Valentina Shevchenko. I remember I watched Jose Aldo versus Zahabi, right? I watched JDM versus Bilal. In between those two fights was Valentina Shevchenko versus Fiora. On everything, I didn't even know that fight happened until like 3 months later, 4 months later. I did not know that Valentina... I legitimately thought that Valentina Shevchenko's last fight was against Alexa Grasso. I legitimately thought that. I did not know that fight against Fiora happened. I was absolutely astounded. For 4 months later when I saw, wait, yeah, that wasn't the card. Fiora versus Shevchenko. I don't even, you know, I've always said Shevchenko's name wrong. I used to say Shevchenko. It is Shevchenko, okay? I've always done that. And I really like Shevchenko. He's like my second favorite women's fighter. But she Loki doesn't. Why are we talking about? We're talking about Erin Blankfield, okay? Erin Blankfield, what? She's won since the Fiora fight to Jazdavikas, you know. What is Tracy Cortez? She's just pretty. She's just there to be pretty, you know. I've got 29-28 for Erin Blankfield. Tracy Cortez just doesn't care anymore. But hey, you know, maybe if she can control that top position, this might be closer, you know. Roman Kopylov versus G-Rod. We're calling him G-Rod. Gregory Rodriguez, we're calling him G-Rod, okay? That's his new name. We are calling him G-Rod, okay? Roman Kopylov, does he not just look frail and soy? Like, look at him. He just looks frail and... Look, also, notice how they always have they show that, what's it called? That weird V-taper. Why is his pants so low? His shorts are so low. You know? I think G-Rod's gonna... Does G-Rod not look like an evolved Raoni Barcelos? He looks like an evolved Raoni Barcelos. It's weird. Like a really, really big Raoni Barcelos. Like, I swear this guy beat Peyton Talbot. Is that not Peyton Talbot, Roman Kopylov with the hair? This is literally middleweight Peyton Talbot versus Raoni Barcelos. But I don't think it's going to go the same way. I think G-Rod's going to first round KO. Another first round KO. Roman Kopylov, you know? I think he's just gonna slime him out like he did to Jack Hermanson. By the way, I deadass thought Jack Hermanson was gonna win that. That was one of my worst picks ever. I remember watching that fight and I was so shocked that Jack Hermanson lost. Old man Jack Hermanson actually picked that. I did like Jack Hermanson as well. I like him. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, really. You know, he's a good guy. But yeah, G-Rod slimed out Jack Hermanson. He's gonna slime out Roman Kopylov. I don't even know if Roman Kopylov can beat Bo Nickel. I don't even think if he can beat Bo Nickel. And I know G-Rod can beat Bo Nickel. That's what it is. I don't think Roman Kopylov beats Bo Nickel. That's how. I really don't think he's that good at all. He looks so bad against Costa. He looks so bad. But yeah, you can't even blame G-Rod. He lost against Cannonier recently. Can you even blame him again for that? Cannonier was a heavyweight. You can't even blame him for that. I know it was KO. Or TKO or something. Was it? I'm pretty sure it was like late rounds finish or something like that. Like a round. I don't know. But was it not a 5-rounder? And he finished him in the 4th? Where I got that from, I don't know. That might be wrong. But you can't even blame him for that. I've got Gregory Rodriguez, 1st round KO. Maybe 2nd round. Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. Now, the thing is about Rodolfo Vieira, does he not just seem like a BJJ unk? Like, he just seems like a guy who, like, you know when you go to a BJJ gym, there's always, like, guys, it's your first day or something, and you're just, like, asking all the more experienced guys with the purple belts and the, like, maybe even the brown belts, when you're, like, the high-level blue belts, and you're like, oh, man, this BJJ stuff is good, I really like it. And, like, yeah, well, you know, if you can control another man's body, you know, it's some good stuff. You can really do something. You know, it's the best martial art on the planet, you know, it's the most effective. You know, if you can control another man and use his body against his will, you know, you can really put the brakes on him, you know? You can really take him out. You know, that's what Rodolfo Vieira reminds me of. He reminds me of one of those guys, or like yeah, you know, it's really good. You know, BJJ is the best martial art on the planet, you know? You gotta do more of it. That's what Rodolfo Vieira reminds me of. He just does not want to hit you. Well, he wants to hit you, but he just wants to, like, scratch you, kind of, like, just, like, rub your face with his fist or something. You know, I want to see, like, a punch. I know he does punch. But it's like, when he sees a finish, he decides, I'm going to still try look for a submission or something. And I don't think, like, he's not applying his jiu-jitsu well to MMA. It doesn't make sense to me. I think Bo Nickel's actually going to win this. And I think Bo Nickel can take him down if he wants to, you know? Obviously, I know Bo Nickel can take him down, but it's just the threat of when he takes him down, Rodolfo Vieira is dangerous on the floor. I don't think that matters. I think Bo Nickel can take him down and beat him up comfortably. But I don't think this is going to be a good fight. I think this is a boring fight. Like a 29-28 Bo Nickel. Maybe Rodolfo Vieira makes it close in the 1st or the 3rd, maybe. You know? Yeah, because Bo Nickel's probably improved his striking since the RDR. They gave him RDR way too early, you know? You got to build up these guys. I don't even think Bo Nickel's that good. Like I said, I think G-Rod beats him. I don't think Kopylov beats him, to be fair. Costa beats Bo Nickel. After this Rodolfo Vieira fight, don't throw him to the wolves again. Give him another layup. You know, I don't think it's particularly a layup, but, you know, just give him someone better. You know, well, not someone better. Give him someone not as good. Yeah, Rodolfo Vieira is just straight punches and subs. That's it. Just weak straight punches and submission attempts. That is. If you can control another man's body. Okay. Benil Dariush versus BSD. I think Bo Nickel's going to win 29-28, something like that. BSD versus Benil Dariush. Now, we're getting onto the main card, you know? What have we got? Oh, yeah. Benil Dariush misses weight. What the hell, man? Like, I know we're slacking a little bit right now, Benil, but, you know, you're a Christian man. You've got your values, you know? You've got to be a little bit more locked in than this, but that's all right. We'll let him go. The body kick. I don't think the body kick from Benil Dariush is going to be a particularly massive weapon in this fight. I think BST's like... I think he's going to be able to shrug some of this stuff off, you know? What I think this is going to be very similar to the Moicano fit. I think I am picking Benil here, you know? Because I just can't get past the fact that BSD is so slow. He's throwing punches like this in slow motion. Like, it's like a... what is he? It's like, you know, like backstage when they're throwing their punches and like they're shadow boxing and stuff, and they do this weird stuff, and it's like they're dancing, and it's so cringe because like the camera's just zooming in. That's what BSD reminds me of when he fights. He's so slow, it's weird. But like at the same time, when he lands, I like it. It's kind of like when Nick Diaz used to land, or Nate Diaz, and it was like a looping shot. He throws a lot of looping shots. You know, he doesn't really throw the straight punches, and that is one of BSD's biggest weaknesses, is the straight punches. You know, yeah, I see this going very similar to the Moicano fight, though. I do think Beneil is just gonna, you know, wrestle him. I think he's gonna get very hurt, like the Moicano fight as well. BSD's gonna hurt him, but I don't think, and BSD does have that killer instinct. But I think Beneil's going to be able to stay in here. You know, he's locked in. Beneil's locked in recently, you know. He did not look that good against Moicano. But I know MMA maths doesn't work. But you know, Moicano destroyed BSD. Beneil kind of, not comfortably, but he clearly won against Moicano. Moicano, I don't know what it was. He didn't turn on the gas. And I don't think you can say it's because he's coming off a loss. Because the loss was to Islam Makhachev. I don't think you can be too humiliated losing to Islam Makhachev, okay? So, yeah. I mean, it's just gonna be a bit of a boring decision, honestly. Maybe it'll be some fun moments though, you know. Yeah, BSD is just too slow, bro. Okay, are we back? We're back. Okay. Yeah. 29-28 Beneil Dariush, right? I don't think it's gonna be. I think there's gonna be a big moment in one of the rounds where BSD's like beating the brakes off of Beneil Dariush. But yeah, I see another Moicano situation here. Okay, this is the one I really wanted to talk about. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Now, I know a lot of you are picking Carlos Prates, but you're giving Leon Edwards a pure striker with no grappling, only like defensive grappling ability. Don't be surprised when Leon Edwards 30-27's Carlos Prates, you know? It's what he does. It's what he does, really. You know? Leon Edwards. I want to fight for the title. 9 wins. 9 straight wins. Is that how many other... Leon Edwards is going to beat the brakes of... No, not beat the brakes. He's just going to sting. He's going to sting Carlos Prates. You know Tony versus Gaethje? Where Tony was like getting hit with like jabs and crosses at the end of the fight. And he was kind of like simmering away. He was like, I don't want it. I don't want it. And he was like, it was really sad to see. I think this gives me similar vibes here. Leonardo was just gonna sting Carlos Prates like a bee. Like a bee. In the last round, it's gonna be like, oh my, Carlos Prates is on wobbly legs here, is bleeding all over. You know? He's gonna be like a bee. 1-2, 1-2, head kick, 1-2, 1-2, teep, 1-2, 1-2, 2-2, 1-1, 1-1, 2-2, 2-1-1, 1-1, 2-2. You know? Not quite that, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a 30-27. Leon Edwards doesn't really go for the finishes, so I think it's just going to be him stinging him the whole time. He really is an elite striker, you know? Leon Edwards, he's got the most aesthetic physique in the game. I just can't stop looking at Leon Edwards' slutty waist, you know? I just can't stop looking at it. I think Leon Edwards is actually just going to win this fight, 27. He's gonna shock the world, guys. It's going to get the later rounds. I know we keep saying later rounds, Carlos Prates, no cardio, he smokes. But it's really not true. He really does have fine cardio. It is low-key fine. But now it's going to kick in, you know? Leon Edwards going, oi, mate, why are you smoking, mate? Why are you smoking? Why are you smoking? Yeah, it's going to be like that in the last round. I bet you he says it. Headshot dead. Why are you smoking? Why are you smoking? It's going to be like that, bro. Sean Brady versus Michael Murray. Can I just say, although everyone thinks, oh, it's badass that Dana White really put Sean Brady next to Leon Edwards. Oh, my word. Guy really does not care about the fighters. He's cold, man. He's cool. Yeah, that's really good by Dana White. Let's stir up something. But nothing happened, and it was just an awkward moment. I hated that. I hated that they put Sean Brady next to Leon Edwards. I felt it was disrespect to Leon Edwards. He was such a good... Nah, I'm saying it. He was such a good champ. You guys weren't grateful while you had him, okay? I know now we have JDM, and like we're a lot happier. But we could have had Bilal. You guys really wanted Bilal as champion? And I find it hard to hate Bilal because he's such a good person. I really like him. But you guys really want Bilal. I know he had a good fight against JDM. But you guys... you disrespect Leon Edwards. You disrespect him, you know? But anyway, yeah, I thought it was disrespect putting Sean Brady next to Leon Edwards like that. And it just made an awkward moment. They didn't even like acknowledge each other. They just kind of looked... I hated it. But anyway, this is where Sean Brady ends. Michael Morales is dead ass going to beat the brakes off of Sean Brady. Mark my words. And I'll tell you why, okay? I mean, who does that to Gilbert Burns, you know? And I'll tell you who does that to Gilbert Burns. I'll tell you. Because the only people who do that to Gilbert Burns are Kamaru Usman and Della Maddalena. No one else, not even Sean Brady. Sean Brady, yeah, he beat him up for 5 straight rounds. He didn't finish him. The only people to finish Gilbert Burns in that fashion, TKO KO, Michael Morales, JDM, Kamaru Usman. No one else. Okay, and I know MMA maths doesn't work all the time. Okay, but I'm telling you that Michael Morales destroys Sean Brady, and it's not even close. It's like first round KO. That's it. Maybe I don't think it's gonna be first round KO. I think it's gonna be like second round KO. Sean Brady's got good takedown entries. I think he will take down Michael Morales. Okay, but Michael Morales really does have. I know Neil Magny nearly took him down, but then he landed a spinning elbow on him or something stupid. Whoa, Neil Magny. No, wait. I'll check that after. I could be completely wrong there. Why would I say Neil Magny? Am I bugging? Let's see if we're bugging. Wait. Yeah, fuck you. It wasn't Neil Magny. What the hell? Why'd I just hesitate on that? Okay, anyway. Yeah, I think Michael Morales first or second round TKO KO, you know. Okay, Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. Now, like I've said, I like Valentina Shevchenko, one of my favorite fighters. I also like Zhang Weili, one of my favorite women's fighters. That keyword women's favorite fighters, okay? Okay, and this is where it gets I really don't know, okay? I really do know. Zhang Weili is going to beat Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko won against Fiorot, but that we could possibly be having the Fiorot versus Zhang Weili conversation if Fiorot just put a bit more work in against her. And I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad that Fiorot didn't put the work in against Valentina Shevchenko because I didn't want to see Fiorot versus Zhang Weili. I want to see two of the greatest women's mixed martial artists fighting each other. But Valentina Shevchenko has fallen off. She's fallen off a little bit. She doesn't look like vintage crisp striking Valentina Shevchenko anymore. You know? The spin kicks, which she does throw them, but the spin kicks, you know, the crazy Muay Thai. That's what I want to see from Shevchenko. And in the Alexa Grasso fight, she kind of just laid on Alexa Grasso for a few rounds and just won. You know? It wasn't vintage Shevchenko, you know? She's barely winning these fights. Zhang Weili, on the other hand, light woman's skill. She's better than Grasso, better than Fiorot. And I don't think the weight is going to be a problem at all. I mean, it's 10 pounds in the women's division, you know? I don't think it's that deep in the women's division. It's only 10 pounds. You know, obviously, if they're going up to fight Kayla Harrison, oh my word. If they're going up to fight Kayla Harrison, obviously, Kayla Harrison is not 145 pounds. She's not 135 pounds, you know? That is a big girl, bro. That's Brock Lesnar's incarnate as a woman, okay? Damn near Brock Lesnar's daughter, okay? Way too big. She's like mini Pekka, bro. She's so flipping big. But yeah, I think Zhang Weili is gonna win this. I think it's gonna be decision as well. It's gonna be like a 40. I think it's gonna be like a 49-46. But they're gonna it's gonna be a 49-46 Zhang Weili. I'm seeing it. Maybe 48-47. I don't know. Opening rounds, Valentina Shevchenko's doing. I think the opening round Zhang Weili might win, but 2 and 3 maybe Valentina Shevchenko until Zhang Weili just pulls it back. You know, someone like this. Okay. The main event. We got JDM. That's Islam Makhachev, brother. You know? I think JDM's gonna win, bro. I've had this feeling since the Bilal fight that JDM's gonna go on to be the welterweight GOAT. Mark my words. He's gonna be above GSP. He's gonna be above Kamaru Usman. He may even be above my GOAT, Leon Edwards. You know? He probably is already nearing to... If he wins this, he is above Leon Edwards, low-key. But anyway, I do think JDM's going to win this. This is Craig Jones' third attempt at beating Islam Makhachev. And he's kind of got a better avatar here, you know? His last avatar with Volk, he was a bit small, you know? We needed a bigger avatar. We've got our bigger avatar, you know? Crisp boxing. We don't even need to work on our striking, what we do. Islam Makhachev is a good striker, we shouldn't underrate him. But you're giving Craig Jones another full camp. This is his second full camp. His last one in Vault, okay, wasn't a full camp, you know. When you fight Islam Makhachev with a full camp, you give him trouble, you know. What are we saying? Volk 1. Poirier 1. You're telling me old man Poirier is hurting you badly? Like, quite badly. Like, that cut on the forehead was crazy. Here's what I'm saying. I know he finished him, okay? But you're having competitive moments with old man, false hip, Dustin Poirier. Fuck, I always do this. Poirier. You're having bad, like, moments where you're kind of in danger a little bit against Poirier. I think that I'm overreacting to that a little bit, okay? Poirier did, yeah, he it wasn't his greatest performance, I don't think. But I don't think he did bad for what he was, you know? This is old man, false hip, Dustin Poirier. And he did alright with a full camp. Now you're giving a full camp to a bigger guy with Craig Jones in his corner. This is going to be like Granby roll. Roll. Get up. Knee. You know? Gilbert Burns style. It's not going to be like that. But what I see is late round TKO. Not KO. TKO. Okay? It's going to be against the fence. Body, head. Body, head. Body, head. Do you see? This is what I'm seeing for JDM. Okay? You're going to bring the Basil Hafez into this, right? The Basil Hafez fight with JDM. Bear in mind, JDM made weight 3 times for that fight. That can't be good for you, bro. And he still won split decision, bro. I promise you, mark my words, JDM is winning tonight. Okay? I promise you. We'll go to Islam Makhachev, though, okay? Back foot fighter. JDM's a front foot fighter. He's going to be pacing at Islam Makhachev the whole time. I think he will take JDM down. That's fine. And I don't want this to be the same situation as Khamzat Chimaev, you know. I don't think it will be. Islam Makhachev knows his stuff. He's more crafty than Khamzat, you know. And I really don't want this to be a whole thing where everyone goes, oh yeah, he's gonna take him down, but it's okay because, you know, DDP gets back up. I don't want it to be the same thing where people go, oh, JDM gets back up. I think Islam will take him down, but I don't think that Islam's gonna. I think there'll be moments where JDM will defend Islam's takedowns against the fence. That's where he's best, against the fence, and that's where Islam's best, against the fence. So I'm really excited to see that aspect of their grappling, you know. And I'm also excited. I think this is gonna be a dogfight up until the last round, and JDM TKOs him. I mean, they're both gonna be bleeding. I think Islam might even have his back at one point. But when has Islam actually finished the choke from the back? I can't think of a moment where that's happened. He's not going to give it. He's going to be. You really think that JDM's not preparing defenses with Craig Jones for DAS chokes and Kimuras? And can I just say, yeah, I know Islam got 2 DASes in a row. I know he's got this crazy tight DAS. You know, I was about to just say that we're really going to call that his signature move. It is low-key his signature move. But anyway. You're really going to think that JDM's not preparing for this, for the Kimuras, for all the submissions, the DASes, you know? And I love a DAS choke. My favorite submission. I love it. And I want to say, I also really like Islam Makhachev. All respect to him. However, when I tell you that these refs are being more vigilant nowadays, I think this might even be a decision where Islam loses because a point gets taken off. The glove grabs. It's become his thing. It really has. Oliveira, Volk, Poirier, Arman Sarukian. He does it to everyone. He loves it. It's his favorite. And I think that does come from the gi. It does come from the gi. Fighting in the gi, Sambo. But Sambo's short sleeve gi, though I don't know. But I like a pocket grip. Hey, Islam, I like a pocket grip too. But when I have a pocket grip, it's me fighting jiu-jitsu in the gi. It's not MMA hooking inside the gloves. And I do think a point may be taken off because Islam Makhachev does that a lot. You know? The first 2 times they're going to, okay, yeah, stop putting your fingers in the glove. Oi, stop putting your fingers in the glove. That's going to be Mark Goddard I don't know who's refereeing this fight, but that'll be Mark Goddard. Or Herb Dean. Hey, man, stop putting your fingers in the glove. I don't really know how, something like that, okay? He's going to try his glove grabs. The third one, there's going to be a point taken off. I bet there will be 3. I bet you there will be 3. Maybe 2. Maybe 1. We don't know. But, yeah. Islam's a back foot fighter. JDM's a front foot fighter. He's going to put the pressure on him. You know, I think it's going to be too much for Islam. Also, can we just say, I know people are saying, oh, I don't think the weight's going to be that much bigger of an issue. JDM's chest looks absolutely humongous. His lower chest is crazy. Okay? I think this will be a weight issue. I think people are saying this is not going to be a weight issue. I disagree. I think JDM is going to be a bit big for Islam, who's used to fighting smaller guys. I don't think that's true at all. I think he is going to be a bit big for Islam Makhachev. You know? What else can we say? I just think this is going to be a 5th round TKO against the cage for JDM. I really see it. Okay. This is the only thing I'll say. JDM obviously split decision against Kevin Holland. I know, not the best look. And I think it is a bit of a habit of JDM. He does fight to his competition a bit, meaning he fights to a level of the person he's fighting, which I suppose couldn't be bad if you're fighting Islam Makhachev. If you're fighting to Islam's level. But Islam's a smaller guy, and that will be the difference. People are saying it won't be the difference. It will. I mark my words. Islam Makhachev might get bullied in there. Okay? He might get bullied. This is going to be like when... I don't know. This is just going to be... I think this will be a bullying for JDM. It will be a close fight, but it will also be a bit of a bullying in the later rounds. I think he's going to bully Islam Makhachev, you know? Oi, mate, I don't think that's actually Islam's belt. And he's fucking pushing around the cage. And he's like, what now? What now, cunt? And he's just pushing him. And it's like, oh, brother, I don't like, brother. Stop, please. And JDM just keeps, oi, mate, it's my octagon, you know? It's my belt. Get out the cage. I really think this is going to happen. He's going to bully Islam. But yeah, 5th round TKO. The JDM, let me know what you think, what your picks are. I know no one's going to watch this, but it's worth the ask, you know. Maybe someone will. You never know. But yeah, I'm really excited. This is like my most anticipated fight of the year. I'm really excited for this. My best picks. My most secure picks. I think Malcolm... No, I'm not even that. I think Kyle Dorcas, Gerald Mearshot. Kyle Dorcas is going to beat the brakes off him. I guess we could also go Baisango Suzukaev against Eric McConaughey. That's another one. Them two fights, I know I'm going to get right. That's 100% win rate right there. I promise. But yeah, anyway. That's it. Let me know what you think to my 0.5 viewers. It's been Swinpop's Plan B. So, you know. Thank you. Wish me luck. I don't know what the luck is. Good luck, JDM. More luck to Islam Makhachev, because he's going to need it. Alright? So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.